You take a deep breath. You have escaped Fort Joy at last.
It's easier to hide in the wilds. Let's get under cover fast.
The walls we leave behind, and a wilderness awaits. Just the way I like it.
That's us one step closer to freedom. Listen, you can hear the sea calling.
The cat purrs loudly as it curls itself around your ankles.
Thank you for freeing me from that awful place. The air is so much clearer here, wild and free, just like me. And I remember who I am now, a wizard's cat. But the spell-flinging stinker left me behind, without as much as a look over his shoulder. Bah! It's as if I never made myself a bed on his bony legs, or never chased away the mice that'd bite through his books. Oh, so he is. I guarded his library like a griffin would a princess's bedchamber, and look where it got me. I can still hear him now, the crusty old cad. We had us a cruise and 6 days in the sun, but grave duty calls, so I have to run. Too dangerous, my charge, for you, dear old boy. Let's you stay here in jolly Fort Joy. Oh, you get used to it after a while. But that doesn't change the fact that he left me stranded among a bunch of red ropes with... It's quite clear to me that you are much more worthy of an honest cat's company. You just call for me and I'll be there. All cuddles and claws at your service.
A blood-stained sign reads, "The Hollow Marshes," in knife-scratched cursive. You to try.
Care to fire the first arrow from Shadow's Eye?
The arrow soars long and far, whistling a dusky tune as it flies against the breeze. It hits the target dead on, fletchings quivering with the impact. Ifan whistles a matching tune and gives you an admiring glance as he takes back the crossbow.
Knew you had it in you. A good weapon's one thing, but there's nothing on Riverland like a good companion. Let's go. We'll be harder to track if we keep in motion.
He spins on one heel and begins to stride onwards, keen eyes scouring the environment for any dangers. He turns to wave you along, eyes glittering in the swampy gloom.
The air out here's a damn sight better than in Fort Joy, eh? I've still got a contract to fulfill. But after that, getting the hell off this island sounds good.
Ifan looks at you askance, then doubles up, laughing. He wipes tears from his eyes and stutters to speak, but he can't stop laughing enough to do so.
Oh, she was a fine one. You see there, she writes like a cottage innocent, but the truth is, it was she who stole everything from the Chems. And she wrote that whole book to cover her tracks, so nobody'd look for the missing gold anywhere near her. She never even met Roost, though she paints quite an accurate picture of his, bedroom antics.
And with that, he's laughing uncontrollably again, waving you away with both hands.
Lonely? I wouldn't think so. I went from life in the regiment, to life in the pack, to life on the road with you. I haven't had time to be lonely.
He pauses, reddening slightly as he looks at you curiously.
Unless, wait. What did you mean exactly? Ah, yes. Of course.
Ifan nods and surveys the... As you near a figure clad in old blackened armor, Sabine takes your hand and gives it a squeeze.
I've a feeling yonder creepy crawly is the lone wolf I've been looking for. You wouldn't mind if I asked him a few pertinent questions? I'll do my very, very best.
Sabine addresses the solitary figure. You hear but whispers and hisses in return. Just when you think a fight is about to break out, Sabile's words seem to sway him into submission. He speaks uncomfortably. She listens. His name. You overhear her insist. Roost, he croaks. And with that, the interview's over.
Come, let's go. I have what I came for. I found out who abducted me, who delivered me to the Master. I'm going to find the man who did that, and we're going to get mightily reacquainted.
The hooded man exudes a restrained menace that near matches your own. As he raises his head, the hood falls back, revealing the gleaming bone visage of an undead.
Be not frightened of me, delicate-fleshed one. There's far worse than my bite in this quagmire. Perhaps I can even offer some aid, if you've the coin. Do you desire trinkets from the ancients? For the small...
With a horrific rasp of bone scraping against bone, he bows low before you.
Call me Zalazgar. Naught else concerning me is yours to ask. My business is my own, and none of it yours. You look like a one to know already. There's source in you. I can smell it. I can feel it pulsing with every beat of your fragile heart. There's ones like you close by. The Seekers. I came here with them, but Magisters sank their ship. Sorcerers, like yourself, seek them out and you might find what it is that they seek. The ones that live still, cowering in some shrine in the depths of the swamp, twiddling their bleeding thumbs. If you're lucky, maybe you'll find them before something else finds you.
He spits something dark and viscous onto the earth. You notice the little horror wriggling deep into the soil.
If the little Seekers manage to steal the Magister's ship, the Lady Vengeance, maybe I'll find a way on board. Worry not about me. I have my methods. Worry for your own self. Why, the undead, of course. We rise. We rise. There is a stirring. Have you not felt the whisper of the grave upon the winds? The covenant will be fulfilled. Glacial demisht mashtim.
Zalazgar chuckles unpleasantly.
Not for you to know now. Worry not, short-lived one. Your fears are as useful as those of an ant astride a leaf perched atop a tidal wave. I only stock the best baubles, the choicest curios. Take a look. Precious wares, are they not? You're back. Looking to add some weight to your rucksack?
Speak if you wish to. Unless you love the idea of a life knee-deep in swamp water, I suggest we look for a ship. So they are. My arms are gravestones, many a lost soul's last rest. One day I'll know who they were, the ones on my right arm. And one day, they'll all be dead, the ones on my left. They are the ones I was forced to kill. I don't know why. I can't recall. But I kept their names, and with their names, I will honor them. The Master. A lizard, but not any lizard. A spectre in the flesh, a man with no name. A darker shade in shadows. If he be a demon, as the frightened claim, I will be a demon hunter. If he be a god, as the cowering claim, I will be a godslayer. Until it is over, I will be nothing but vengeance. A day on the beach I'll be after.
She returns your smile, though you can read the skepticism in her eyes.
A lovely little promise to make. A thorny one to keep. We'll see how bloodied you're willing to get to pluck the one rose lost in a forest of daggers. Still, I do appreciate the sentiment. Those are the breadcrumbs, torn and tossed aside along the long road to the Master. They are inconsequential, candles snuffed out by a brighter flame, if I do say so myself.
One of her eyebrows arcs, like a cat arching its back, ready to scratch.
A touchy subject, I warn you. It didn't exactly feel like a kiss, but the true pain came after, when I lost all of my own volition. I served but the Master and none but he. Touchy subject. I did warn you.
Sabine looks at the flask with surprise, but accepts it with a nod and takes a long draught.
My word. Warms the heart and everything else besides. Thank you. I needed a bit of good cheer. So, cheers.
And there goes the rest of your bottle.
Out of the frying pan and into... You know what? You've heard that one before, so let's try a new one. Shite's all mucked up. Yeah, seems more to the point, doesn't it? Well, it just so happens that getting off islands is my speciality. I'm like the Aelus of escaping islands.
The stone form...
They're already dead. They will not be mourned.
Some more rations, please.
If a magister flies from you, you forget my name, here. Hear that?
You again, lady. I don't like it down here. Don't like it at all. A bad man found me on the beach and brought me here. But I slipped away as soon as we got here. I just want to get out. The noises out there. Please help me get out. I just want to go to the beach and play with my shells again. But that grate is too heavy for me. You again, lady. Please help.
Oh, hey! Hey! I thought you might be Emmy. Sauce? Hound? Did she seem happy? Oh, my poor Emmy. I'm not used to being apart like this. It's awful. I hope she knows I miss her. I hope she knows I think about her all the time.
The dog wags his tail, hopefully.
Oh, hey! Hey! Oh, hey! Hey! Sauce? Oh! I hope she...
The dog wags...
What have they done to you?
Yarrow and...
That scent. Unmistakable. How did noxious bulbs end up here? What's this? I found something.
You hear a dry cackle from the platform above. Turning, you see a rickety corpse staring down at you.
So there is still fresh meat slithering around this mire. Our master will be pleased.
The skeleton laughs. Its ribs shake.
No, we were the prisoners of Brachus Rex on this isle. Playthings to his will, victims to his foul experimentation. The red-robed jesters seek out his toys, but the pups are nothing to us. Alas, our royal master died and left us to rot. Now we are promised a future by a new master, a master we serve by choice, not by force. Perhaps you are no magister, but nor are you a simple traveller. I can see the god's mark upon you. My master has been seeking you. He has bid me to find your kind and return you to your god in the Hall of Echoes.
Show yourself!
Careful!
I sense
I've
great
spotted a trap.
suffering ahead. The agonies of an era
Careful
and
now.
beyond.
That's a trap.
Careful now, that's a trap.
Put it out! Put it out! Put it out!
The pig is engulfed in flames, but her skin remains unsinged.
Does it matter? I beg you, help! You aren't sure? How do I know it won't be worse than the torment? How do I know you know anything at all? Okay, but I don't think... Yes, I have endured for this long. I can endure longer. But please, please ease this burden. I beg you. It is the doing of Brachus Rex. Kings will always come to see themselves as gods. I should never have spoken ill of him. Many years ago, we dared warn of Brachus Rex's gluttonous cruelties. We paid the price with these porcine bodies and the curse of eternal flames. Praise means nothing. I would reject it if it meant a chance to turn back the clock and worship Brachus Rex as he demanded. But bring it to an end. I will trust you in this. Please.
Voidwoken. We meet again.
Vermin, thieves, pests, leeches. This world is ours. Fall, die, pass away. Your essence feeds us. You will not be spared. Your tongue. Squash the vermin. Hang the thieves. Ours. Ours. We are the many and the all. We were first. We were first.
Must be so damn persistent.
They can keep calling us vermin, but we'll just keep putting them down.
Into the dark with you.
We are the beginning and the end. We will return.
I can almost see you. I can almost make you out.
Did you hear something?
The corpses of voidlings lie in heaps around you, a miasma of cursed fluid pooling at your feet.
No worse than a death fog nightmare. Ichor and madness, and then it's all over.
They came wave after wave after wave. Relentless. Jolly good fun, actually.
Well, that was fun. Could have gone a few more rounds myself.
moment, sun. The next, I feel darkness inside me, then noise. So much noise. Clank, moan, clink, groan. I hid in a stump. I'm not a stupid squirrel. I have much stowed away for hard times. But I saw them. I saw the shinies. Shinies! Darkness left, then light again. Warm. Saw glints in sand and dirt. Can't go there now. Salamanders. They like the meat. I don't want to be meat. Don't eat shinies, but I like to look at them. They make happy.
I am your death. I take your all. I am your last breath. I shall take your soul.
face me.
I don't see any children around here. Don't see my folks either. What strange witchery is this?
No sooner have you rung the ornate bell than the face of a lizard woman surfaces from behind a rock up on the ledge before you. Her stare is as sharp as the bolt eyeing you from atop her crossbow.
Stand back and keep your hands off your weapons. Convince me you're no Magister, or draw one last deep breath.
Her eyes go wide with wonder upon your mentioning of a divinity.
No Magister could sense the spirit of the goddess. Only a true sorcerer could, blessed with senses greater than our world's alone. I apologize for the steel-tipped welcome, but lives are at stake. Hold on, I'll let you up.
With one graceful motion, the lizard throws down a tangled mess of vines for you to climb.
Come, ascend to the sanctuary of Amadia. You'll find you're not the only guest here, but the Great Mother provides for all. You are fortunate to have found this place. The hollow marshes swallow life and regurgitate only the dead. It is the laboratory of a lunatic. A place removed from mercy and sanity where mad Brachus Rex would experiment to his dark heart's content. There are ruins in the marshes, stonework vultures that perch above the king's long-buried treasure. But his is not a treasure of gold, ruby, and sapphire. It is a treasure of death, weapons, and vile magic. The nights here are long and lonely, but I often listen to my mistress Gratiana speak of days long gone, the heydays of Brachus Rex. Perhaps she will tell you her tales as well. Haunted quagmires is what they are, and what is mired in them is madness. Brachus Rex, he went too far. Source was never meant to be harnessed in weaponry. May Amadia curse his soul for turning creation into destruction. The guests, they call themselves Seekers. They're brave people, and friends to sorcerers. But you'll find them a battered band here today, brought low by bloody battle. Magisters, of course. Who else? The Seekers came here to rescue a sorcerer from the fort. They failed. Many fell. They've heard the Shrieker's shriek. I thank the goddess I'm not haunted by their sound. They knew him to be God-woken. They sought to kindle the divinity slumbering deep within his soul. But Alexander bears no rivals. Only the son can follow the father, or so he is convinced. For him, divinity. For the others, the dungeons. It is truly harrowing to know this man seeks to be the Seven's chosen. Have you never heard of them? From the tales they tell of Brachus Rex, they were living weapons, made of flesh and reared in torture. The pain they endured was so terrible, their screams turned to solid lightning. Turns out the tales are true. The Magisters dug deep and returned these horrors to the surface. To know one's fate is to be fearless. I reside in Amadia's palm. I am hers to shield or hers to crush, and in that knowledge, I am content. As you wish. My name is Bahara. Like you, I am a sorcerer. But unlike you, I am also a faithful servant of Amadia. Praise be her name, and praise be her starlit eyes. Amadia is the Great Mother. She is the goddess in whose womb magic was conceived, from whose sacred body immortal wizards were born. Gratiana, her priestess in this sanctuary, is teaching me her ways. For several years now, I've been her disciple, but she has resided here for centuries, sustained by Amadia's love. I was like you once, a lost soul driven by instinct from the bowels of Fort Joy. There have been others. They tried to make it back to the mainland, but were never heard of again. I chose to stay. My home is here now. This is where I found solace, found sanctuary. I found the Great Mother, and have been nurtured by her magic ever since. My knowledge is but a pond. Gratiana's is the sea. It is the sea you should speak to. May you always walk in with my knowledge. Haunted quag, may Amadia curse his soul for turning creation into destruction. Be welcome to this sanctuary. Amadia's eye.
He said his name. Barely even knew that much. But still.
You tried your best, Hal. I'm glad you're safe now.
We aren't really safe here, are we?
So long as Gareth returns, we will be. You're certain it was Verda's?
He said his name. Barely even knew that much. But still. You're alive! Wasn't sure you would be. Samadel, this is the one I told you about.
The dishevelled lizard eyes you with hope, though her hope is tinged with mistrust.
Han tells me you helped him out of Fort Joy. For that, you have my thanks. Can I ask if... Did you happen to meet a man named Gareth on your way here?
He'll be back, Samadel. I know he will. He has to.
He has to, indeed. We need our leader. And if he doesn't return with help soon, we haven't a hope. Have you heard of Shriekers?
Han looks down with a flinch. Samadel reaches out, grasping his hand. Her jaw tightens.
They're weapons that can kill with a screech. The Magisters patchwork them from living sorcerers. Don't misunderstand me. We're not afraid to fight, but we are powerless against Shriekers. The priestess at the shrine told Gareth some ancient secrets, some defenses that could be found in Brackus' armory. And he went there, in the hopes of finding it, whatever it is.
Rest, Jules.
Are you still with us? Notice the wound is festering. It needs to be changed. Focus on your breathing, Jules. Slow and deep.
You're kind to offer, but you'd best talk to Gareth's squire, Exeter. He'll know where your talents can be most used. Now, Han, let's take a look at your nasty leg injury.
Catch you later, Skipper. It's good you're here.
Matis, let me change your dressing.
There will not be a birthday.
Samadel's focus and attention is whole. Han stares fixedly at the dirt floor, twitching lips giving away the grimace he's trying to hide as Samadel applies stinking ointment to a deep gash on his leg.
Glad you made it here in one piece. Any idea what you're going to do next?
He looks at you sidelong, brow furrowing.
Sure, just don't get too cosy. If you're smart, you won't stay here too long.
Folks here just want to cry over spilt milk and wait for Gareth. Soon as I'm healed, I'll find him myself. Someone.
Undead almost got me on the way in. Had to kick his head right off to get free. Put my foot through his skull and, well...
Han rolls his eyes.
You've a little brain in your skull, if you ask me. If you have one to spare, I sure would appreciate it.
He gulps down the potion and stretches his leg in front of him, grinning.
Almost good as new now. Thanks.
Soon as all our wounded are healed, we'll need to search for the defences Gareth left to find. But for now, we owe it to our own to ease their pain.
You still with us?
Soon as I'm able.
The young woman chews her lower lip as she observes the injured before her. She bends to grab a rag, wiping her blood-smeared hands. She looks up and sees you.
If you're looking for healing, sorcerer, well, there's not much I can do.
I wouldn't be much of a seeker if I couldn't recognise a sorcerer standing in front of me. We all want to escape, but the Magisters, they have these shrieker things that kill anyone who tries to pass. We barely managed to flee from them the last time. They're these wretched beings mounted on crucifixes. They nearly wiped us out with a single blow. We fled, those of us who still could. There's no need to go upsetting them, so hold your tongue. There's no need to go up. There's no need to go up. There's no need. I've done all I can. Their wounds are too great. All I can offer them now is prayer and a cup of water. If you know a way, I'd be beyond grateful. Magic? All I've got is my own two hands and...
She trails off and limply gestures to her paltry makeshift infirmary.
I'm not even a healer. Ours was killed in the attack. I'm just a cook. A few hours ago that might have helped. Look at their pallor. Only magic can pull them back from the brink now. Do what you will. Just don't call... Matis, let me change your dressing.
I'm fine, I swear. Seem to be others.
Focus on your breathing, Jules. Slow and deep. Claude, are you still with us?
Please! It hurts!
Matis, the wound is festering. It needs to be changed.
Leave me be.
Focus on your breathing, Jules. Slow and deep. Claude? Claude? Can you hear me?
Please!
I'm trying to keep these wounded.
Oh.
Matis, let me change your dressing.
I will not be a murderer.
The lizard holds a crimson-soaked rag against his side. He looks up as you approach, his expression oddly serene.
Magisters, they found our camp near the old harbour and unleashed hell upon us. I'm lucky in a way. I was wounded by an arrow. It wasn't just sword and spear the Magisters used on us. No, they had these weapons. Living beings, depleted of source and crucified, pathetic to look at until... the power that they unleashed. There was nothing we could do. Only run. Shriekers they're called. I can still hear that sound they uttered. Makes my scales crawl.
Rest, Jules.
Sir Gareth is looking for a way to defeat them now.
Let us hope he finds it.
Matis, let me change your dressing.
I will not be afraid. Leave me be.
In an instant. My wounds have all but vanished. I didn't think. I was certain I wouldn't. Thank you. The Magister flagship. It has ballast that tore our ship into kindling. A shard from our own mast pierced my side. I'm lucky the others managed to haul me all the way here. Especially after I saw what the Magisters did to those of us they captured.
Swear. See to the others.
He shudders at the memory.
They turn the living into shriekers. Crucified wretches that unleash pure destruction on anyone who tries to pass. Nobody survives those things. I wish I had a fitting way to thank the person who saved my life. As it is, all I can offer is, well, it's not much, but maybe you'll find some use for it. Thank you.
You brought him back from the brink. Thank you. I'm trying to keep these wounded calm and comfortable. Unless you can help somehow, keep out of my way. Matis, let me change your dressing.
I will not be a burden. Leave me be.
Claude, are you still with us?
The fog is lifting.
Matis, let me change your dressing.
I will not be a burden. Leave me be.
Please! Take the pain away.
Claude, turn your head if you can hear me.
I feel better.
Matis, the wound is festering. It needs to be changed.
I will not be a burden. Leave me be.
Please! Take the pain away.
Claude, are you still with us?
You healed me. How did you... Oh, never mind. I don't care how. I only care that today won't be my last.
I don't remember much. I barely had time to realize the Magisters were attacking before I was injured. The last thing I saw were these things, these shriekers. Those Magisters are gonna pay in blood for what they did to us.
If my mother were here, she'd box my ears for not being able to thank you properly. Though I reckon that walloping from the Reds was punishment enough. Take this, at least. It'll have to do. Thank you.
Bring them all back from the brink. Anna, how do you have so much power?
You've healed us. All of us. I owe you a debt. We all do. The Magisters attacked our camp back at the harbour. I caught one of their arrows right in my side. That would have been a slow death. I've seen it before.
I'm alive!
He lands a comradely slap on your back. His strength has definitely returned.
Don't you doubt it. This old war serpent's still got some fight left in him, especially now that wound is healed.
What? Please.
They're going to be all right. Thank you. Thank you. Gods above, thank you.
What? Please. That's better.
I'm alive!
The young woman twists her hands together to warm them at the campfire, fingernails bitten to the quick. Noticing your attention, she looks up at you like a startled deer.
Sorry I've no welcome drink or anything, but the misery here.
She gestures half-heartedly at the suffering of the shelter's wounded. Her lip wobbles. Big, fat tears leak out of the corners of her eyes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just don't belong here. My sisters and I make trinkets. I tagged along with the Seekers for safe passage to sell them, but now there's nowhere for me to go. Most of my wares were lost in the attack, but I did manage to salvage some of our sorcerer's sundries. Maybe you'd be interested in taking a look? You'll find Demira in Driftwood and Donna in Arx. Dagmar, well, I don't quite know where she's got herself perched these days. Maybe you'll get to meet all of them on your travels. If you do see them...
Her brow furrows as she looks around the shelter. When she looks back at you, her eyes are glassy and devoid of hope.
Just tell them I'm safe. No matter what happens. My sisters and I have been working on magical, alchemical, and downright infernal trinkets for years. Thanks to sorcerer's sundries, anyone with coin can have sharper weapons, stronger armor, and shinier equipment.
She clumsily proffers some paper. It slips through her fingers, but you manage to catch it mid-air.
Here. Our leaflet has all the details you could ever want to know. Oh, I know my wares are not cheap, but they are so very out of the ordinary. But listen, my sisters and I have a little game to lighten spirits in harsh times. So, if I tell you a riddle and you can get the answer right, I'll give you a good discount. Deal? Oh, listen carefully now. I stand tall in the morning, I shrink in the afternoon, I disappear at midnight, but I'll be back very soon. What am I?
Maybe
fortify the place. Make a stand.
Oh, yes! You are the first one to ever get it right. No kidding. You get a prime discount on our sorcerer's sundries.
The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, are safe from death.
Goodbye, then, lady. I hope I didn't say anything wrong.
Your humble servant.
Wisht, bonny bairn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. So close your sweet eyes, rest your head.
A young man in oversized armor paces around a table covered with a spread of maps, his face a tight scowl of frustration.
Every approach blocked. Oh, damn it. What good are battle tactics against those things, anyway?
He glances up. In quick succession, he becomes aware of both your presence and the fact that you're not a familiar face.
Who the blazes are you? A sorcerer, indeed. I should have realized. A seeker can always recognize a sorcerer when they see one. You met Verdus. Then he's as good as dead. We're the seekers he spoke of. We were supposed to free him. Instead, we've failed him. You, a Godwoken? Surely not. Though if Verdus said so, you could be important. But there's no way to be certain until we've left this blasted island behind us. Verdus was Godwoken. He was a powerful sorcerer, in the vein of Lucian the Divine. He had the potential to succeed Lucian if he mastered his powers. But now that won't happen. If you're the same as Verdus, then we have to get you away from this place. Someone's been killing the few Godwoken that are out here. Likely that dog Alexander. He's a Godwoken too. A failed one as far as I'm concerned. I can imagine he won't want any upstart Godwoken taking what he figures to be his birthright.
The young man anxiously fidgets with his curved bow. You've found a matter close to his heart, evidently.
That's easier said than done, I'm afraid. Much easier said. The Magisters have us cornered. They have these weapons called Shriekers. If we try to go against them unprepared, we're dead. We've lost many already. There's weapons, ancient devices that can counter those things. Our leader, Sir Gareth, set out to find them so we could break the Magister blockade and escape this island. But he hasn't returned. If Sir Gareth doesn't come back with those weapons in tow, well, this island will be our grave. Sir Gareth? He's the finest seeker I know. I'm honoured to serve as his squire. He wouldn't let us down. Not unless something's gone horribly wrong.
The young man throws a furtive glance towards the shrine looming out of the water nearby, then leans in to whisper.
The masked priestess, Gratiana. She gave us shelter here and told Sir Gareth how to stop the Shriekers. But she unnerves me. Speak to her if you wish. She may know more. You'll help us?
His shoulders visibly relax, the weighty armor upon them settling with a clink.
Thank you. Allies are in short supply in this place. If you help us, I promise, we'll get you as far away from this place as possible. Please, ask. Whatever helps. We came to free an elf called Verdus from Fort Joy. He was a Godwoken,
He could have been the next divine, but we failed him. Well, before there's a divine, there must be a godwoken. Only a special few among sorcerers have this potential. Without them, a true successor to Lucian will never rise. None. He set out to find those source weapons, and that's the last we saw of him. The Magister flagship, the Lady Vengeance, she's anchored at the old harbour. Once the way is clear, we're to take her and get the hell out of here.
Please come back.
Sir Gareth, did you find any sign?
Hold up. I've got to take care of some business. Friend, how does life find you?
Well, I'll be. If it ain't the beasts of the sea. Stories of your beard alone fly across Riverland like flocks of crows. Fair bit more inland than you'd prefer, yeah?
Ain't I know it, ain't I know it.
Beast claps him on the back and chuckles heartily. If they hadn't met just a moment ago, you might think the dwarves lifelong friends.
I don't want to intrude, seeing as how you got your own trials and travails, but I don't suppose you've been to Reaper's Coast of late. Maybe heard of a fella named, what was it? Lohar?
Lohar? Yeah, I know of the guy, from back when I was looking for fishing work out in Driftwood. He's, how shall I say, an entrepreneur. Still out there a bit. Had his stubby fingers and a lot of pies, if you get my meaning.
Sounds like a man I'd buy 2 flagons of mead for. One for drinking and one for toasting. I got something for him. I'll tell him you sent your regards, Mr...
It's Duggan it is. Oh, and this here's Leia. You gotta be sick of that collar. Leia, you can get it fixed up, yeah?
Sure thing.
Bet you're glad to be rid of it. Amazing to meet the beast in flesh. Let's see if we can get you back to sea. Fighting the good fight, yeah? Your lungs have got to be starved for the salt air.
Beast chortles and nods, then passes you a sly wink. Such a charm bucket. Duggan stands over Leia, singing softly as she mutters about Gareth.
There, lass. Don't you worry. Gareth will be back soon. You'll see. He'll be back.
Duggan stands over...
There. Wisht, bonny bairn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The 7 watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Smoke and screams. Echoes of death. Gareth, please come back.
Healed?
I'm healed. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky.
Smoke and screams.
The 7 watch o'er us.
Echoes of death.
Before you stands a figure, her body wreathed in cloth. All you can see of her eyes are two dark holes in an ornate mask.
Armadia's blessings, child. I have not seen this face in our sanctuary before. Pray, who are you? You seek the same information as Gareth. You stand in the peace of Armadia's love and search for more ways to kill. What creatures we are. I always felt safe in Armadia's presence. But now that the Voidwoken stalk the swamp, perhaps you are right. On this island, there lies an ancient armory, filled with soul-forged weapons, powerful enough to turn aside any Shrieker. They are the weapons that brought the Seekers so low. I have read of similar devices in books detailing Brachus's crimes. I had hoped Rivellon would never see them again. But these are dark days. Perhaps in one of Brachus's vaults. They are scattered across this isle. One cannot know which have been ransacked and which left secure. The Seeker asked me the same question, and I fear you'll fare no better than he. But on your head be it. North of here you'll find the ruins of Brachus's Source Armory. Nothing in this land can counter the Shrieker's power like those weapons. Without them, the Seekers are truly hopeless. Walk ever in Armadia's grace, child. Hello again, child. What brings you here? Gareth. He set off to find the soul-forged weapons of Brachus Rex. A brave mission, and a dangerous one. But I cannot stop you, if you wish to follow in his footsteps. North of here you'll find nothing in this land can count. Walk ever. Hello again, child. What brings you here? Armadia is the blessed mother of magic. All that use it can trace their skill back to her grace. This is her shrine. She has sustained me here for many years, even when the evils of Brachus's swamp threatened to drown me. It was not always thus. This swamp was once a rich, lush land before he came. Before Brachus. I have been here for many years. It has given me a lot of time to reflect on the past and learn from it. In truth, the torments of Brachus and of these Magisters were not so different. Both purged source from this land. Indeed, the Magisters have even taken Brachus's worst tools. First, the purging ones, and now those Shriekers. Without something more powerful than these sticks the Seekers are armed with, those crucified monstrosities will kill them to a man. The fool ran into the swamps. He pestered me for aid. A bold move, but ill-advised. Unless he returns with weapons enough, I fear not. Walk ever. Hello again, child. Armadia, this is her shrine. It was not always. I have been here in truth, indeed, without something more. Their leader, Gareth, also demanded that I must do something. I argued against it, but he was very insistent. I told him of I fear for thee. Walk ever in Armadia's grace, child. Hello again, child. What brings you here? We must always strive to help those who suffer. For many years I did not understand that simple truth. For many more, I have tried to right the wrongs of my past.
Despite the mask, you can feel her expression harden.
Time is a river, ever slipping by. It does no good to mourn what's gone before, only to appreciate where the current carries us. In this place I can worship the goddess Armadia and help those who come to me for aid. I live a good life. The person that I was is dead.
The woman freezes in place and starts to stutter.
It was nothing. Simply a turn of phrase. Nothing more.
You know nothing.
Nothing of my life. Nothing of the things I've seen. Nothing of the things I've done.
She turns away from you in a swirl of robes. As your hand wraps around her arm, your fingers squeeze down not on skin and flesh, but on solid bone. Through her robes, you can feel that she's nothing but a skeleton.
No! Don't touch me! Let me go!
She pulls her arm out of your hands with a jerk.
From you, simple fool! Do you think any tolerate a death's hand coming to aid them? I tried to help so many, but all screamed, all fought, all drove me away. This mask is the last vestige of humanity that remains, the only thing that renders me fair to my people.
She stares at you for a moment before looking away, turning back to the face of the goddess.
There are more important stories than mine. The Seekers, the Magisters, these are the tales of this world. Playing with forces they cannot hope to understand. I believe they are hunting very well. Hello again, child. We must always strive to help those who suffer.
Despite the mark.
Time is... In this place I can worship the goddess Armadia. Armadia is the blessed... This is her shrine. She has sustained... He is no more. Thank the goddess. It has been many centuries since he walked Riverlong, although he still casts a shadow over this land. He ruled this realm as a tyrant and beast. He stole its source and left only death. On this island he built and tested his weapons. These marshes were a playground for he and his necromancers. Many unfortunate souls were brought here. Blessed were those who died quickly, or died at all. Brachus left many restless indeed. Without something more powerful than these sticks, their lead... I told him, I fear for these Hello again, child. He ruled this... These marshes were a playground for he and... I have been here for many... In truth, indeed. Without something more... Hello again, child. We must always strive to...
Despite the mark.
Time in this place...
The woman...
It was nothing. Simply a turn of phrase. Nothing more. You know nothing.
She turns away from you as your hand...
No! Don't touch me!
She pulls...
From you. This mask is the last vestige. Have you learned nothing of those that wear the mortal flesh? They fear all that is different. That is... other. They will not accept me. No. The most I can hope for is grace. And I have that by Armadia's word. Does this swamp cause madness in all... I told him of Brachus's cat. I fear for these souls. Walk ever...
So close your sweet eyes. Rest.
Please, Armadia.
Amidst the placid little pond, the face of a goddess lies half submerged in the water. Rivulets stream from her deep-set eyes like endless cascades of sunlit tears. You feel peaceful in her presence, soothed somehow by an intangible comfort. As you gaze upon her loving face, you find yourself drawn in. A voice seems to reach you from within your mind and from the furthest reaches of the stars. Its whispers caress you like a breeze. The voice grows stronger, like a breeze picking up. What were whispers become words.
My children, my children. Gone are my children. Dead are they in the cradle I have wrought.
Her hold tightens and slips in waves, wavering between indignation and curiosity.
My child, weep with me for the mother who has lost. Weep with me and bathe in the tears of Armadia.
You can feel her loving hold slipping away from you, recoiling as if in anger.
My child, born in blood, a cry in hollow rooms, my own, in blood to die. Heed the warning of Armadia.
As suddenly as it came, the voice is gone, and you wake from its presence as if from dream-filled slumber. The pond becomes engulfed in a bloody mist that enshrines an augur-like silence.
Goddess, what's wrong? Please, speak to your priestess.
The goddess's tears still stream freely, an aura of The goddess's tears...
Wished Ronnie Baron, now don't you cry.
By all the house, what happened? She has never reacted with such rage. Please, I must meditate on this. And what do you want? Gareth, north of here, nothing in this land. Walk ever. Please come back.
A grim-faced man sifts through a pile of badly damaged weapons, salvaging the repairable, ditching the broken. He picks up a rapier, the blade nicked and splintered, the hilt twisted. He holds the damaged blade up to the light.
This was Halon's blade. It was his first, it was also his last. He didn't intend to die here, but die here he did. He was an ordinary soul with an extraordinary heart, Halon, and he died for what he believed. What did Halon believe in? He believed in truth. He believed in hope. He believed that Alexander is a killer of Godwoken. I believe that on one point at least, he was right.
The point breaks away, leaving a jagged edge. The sword is shorter now, but it'll do more damage.
Who are you?
He realizes, to his surprise, that he holds the weapon in his hand, ready for battle. He smiles to himself, tucks the weapon away, and gets back to work. He works fast, checking weapons to see if they're battle-ready. He thumbs the edge of a blade. It draws blood. He grins.
The blade is thirsty. Now, what can I do you for? Nice doing business with you. I wish I had better wares to offer. If this is all we have, we're done for. If I had a forge, I could do something. Maybe. If I had a forge, I could do something.